Hello, everyone. April, Dwayne, Noah, Jeremiah, Drakus. Um, so I thought I'd read James. Although I can't find James Anderson on Facebook, you guys, or on here. But I thought I'd read something nasty in the elevator. I think that's where we left off, okay? And you can follow along if you want, right here. So Grandma Josephine had stopped screaming now. She had gone rigid with shock. The rest of the group by the bed, including Charlie and Grandpa Joe, had become as still as stone. They dared not move. They dared hardly breathe. And Mr. Wonka, who had swung quickly around to look when the first scream came, was dumbfounded as the rest. He stood motionless, gaping at the thing in the elevator, his mouth slightly open, his eyes stretched wide as two wheels. What they all saw, was this. And I think I showed you guys that picture, right? It looked more than anything like an enormous egg balanced on its pointed end. It was as tall as a big boy and wider than the fattest man. The greenish-brown skin had a shiny, whitish appearance, and there were wrinkles in it, about 3/4 up. In the widest part, there were two large, round eyes as big as teacups. The eyes were white, but each had a brilliant red pupil in the center. The red pupils were resting on Mr. Wonka, but now they began slowly traveling across to Charlie and Grandpa Joe and the others by the bed, settling upon them and gazing at them with a cold, malevolent stare. The eyes were everything. There were no other features, no nose or mouth or ears, but the entire egg-shaped body was itself moving very, very slightly, pulsing and bulging gently here and there, so the skin were filled with some thick fluid. Now remember, we said malevolent meant, I think, Wayne, you told us this, evil. At this point, Charlie suddenly noticed that the next elevator was coming down. The indicator numbers above the door were flashing 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1 for the lobby. There was a slight pause. The door slid open, and there, inside the second elevator, was another enormous, slimy, wrinkled, greenish-brown egg with eyes. Now the numbers were flashing above all three of the remaining elevators. Down they came, down, 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 and soon, at precisely the same time, they reached the lobby floor and the doors slid open. 5 open doors now, one creature in each, 5 in all, and 5 pairs of eyes in brilliant red centers, all watching Mr. Wonka and watching Charlie and Grandpa Joe and the others. There were slight differences in size and shape between the 5, but all sorry about the cough. I promise it's not the corona. But all had the same greenish-brown wrinkled skin, and the skin was rippling and pulsing. For about 30 seconds, nothing happened. Nobody stirred. Nobody made a sound. The silence was terrible. So was the suspense. Charlie was so frightened he felt himself shrinking inside his skin. Then he saw the creature in the left-hand elevator suddenly started to change shape. Its body, look at it there, it doesn't look like a snake. Its body was slowly becoming longer and thinner, going up and up toward the roof of the elevator. Not straight up, but curving a little to the left, making a snake-like curve that was curiously graceful. Up to the left and then curling over the top to the right and coming down again in a half circle. Then the bottom end began to grow out as well, like a tall creeping along the floor to the left, until at last the creature, which had originally looked like a huge egg, now looked like a long,